Welcome to episode 9 of From A to Global Z. I'm your host, Dr. Bill Lord. First, a little recap. Episode 8 was a discussion as to what life events, professional experiences, and scholarly theory supports our approach to operating and recording music on a global scale using internet-based technologies. This episode explores why we take a phased approach to conducting projects and pulls the curtain back to explain what a phased approach actually looks like. But before we discuss phase philosophy, it's mic talk time. Today we're featuring our first USB mic, and it's an oldie but goodie, the Audio-Technica AT2020 USB. This is a solid, well-built, medium diaphragm condenser mic that sounds really great. It's a very well-respected mic from a well-respected company and has a cardioid polar pattern. The mic's beloved by singers, songwriters, podcasters, voiceover artists, and home studio recorders for its price-performance ratio. It's a USB mic, so you don't need to plug it into an audio interface. You just plug it into the computer, select it in your DAW, set your levels, and hit record. Now, they don't make this exact mic anymore, but they kind of do. They took the guts of this mic and added some features to it to allow it to compete with similar mics in its price range. The new Plus model includes a headphone jack for monitoring, a mix control, and a volume control. And so the current model is called the AT2020 USB Plus, and street price is $149 USD. The mic ships with a protective zipper pouch, a USB cable, mic mount, and a little collapsible mic stand. It's not particularly stout, but it gets the job done. It's very portable. At least there's that, has that going for it. The 2020, however, is a fine mic capable of recording quality audio, so give it a listen, see what you think. Now back to our main event, which is we're going to explore Global Z's phased project approach. Let's say you own a company and it's called WeSellItAll.com. Let's say you want this company to sell everything under the sun online, and let's say you want to rule the online retail world. Well, I'm sorry, but it would not be feasible to dominate the retail world right out of the gate. You would need to start by acquiring a limited inventory and selling some stuff, then scaling up as income rolls in. You would establish your brand recognition and begin to grab a market share. Eventually, you would expand and grow using a phased approach until you own the entire market share of everything sold in the online world. Global Z's ambitions are not quite so bold. We want to take Global Z from phase 1, working virtually across 2 states and testing our recording technologies, to phase 5, working around the world with all of our concepts, models, and processes in effect. Like We Sell It All, it is ill-advised for Global Z to just go full global on day 1. That would be committing nonprofit hara-kiri. So we need to grow taking calculated steps, and as such, we plan to grow incrementally using a calculated phased approach. After our launch in 2014, before we even ran our phase 1 project, we spent the first 4 years developing our concepts, models, acquiring and testing related audio production gear and technologies, and partnering with a network of schools, college, universities, and organizations who could assist us in what we were seeking to achieve. We also had to go after money to pay our daily bills and purchase the necessary equipment to do what we do as an organization, not even considering the gear we need to run our projects. It took a lot of work with help from a lot of people, but eventually we had sufficient infrastructure and community support in place to launch phase 1 in 2018. And phase 1 was designed to test our project marketing and recruitment models, essential project management model, and our technical ability to manage and virtually record a large pool of musicians located throughout various locales across Maryland and Colorado. During phase 1, student musicians were in studios located anywhere from 60 to 1,700 miles from the control room, where they were actually recorded by the audio engineer using internet-based recording and collaboration technologies. The project was a tremendous success, and we are now ready to launch phase 2. So is phase 2 a global project? No, not at all. The beauty of taking a phased approach is you take lessons learned from previous projects and apply them toward future phases. So lessons learned from phase 1 have allowed us to grow a little bit and stretched us out of our comfort zones enough that we could successfully manage the project and allow it for it to be an exceptional personal growth experience, not only for the student musicians, but also for Global Z. Phase 2 then extends our geospatial reach by opening up a project to invite participation across North America in a controlled fashion. We're inviting indigenous student musicians to partner with us from US and Canada. This intentional design allows us to achieve several key outcomes. First, we're going to work with artists outside of our network. We will conduct a project internationally by working with artists from the US and Canada. We will be working with marginalized populations. We will be working with a variety of schools and school sponsors. We will be adding a facilitated virtual discussion and socialization component where artists will be asked to think and discuss relevant topics. We will be working with a variety of sovereign tribal nations, and we'll be working with indigenous communities. So Phase 2 will be a really big deal for us in that it allows us to serve an incredibly rich set of cultures while providing an amazing growth opportunity not only for the artists, but to anyone associated with Global Z, including our board, our volunteers, sponsors, partnering institutions, and our student interns. Where will we go from Phase 2? Well, Phase 3 will again be a controlled growth project for us as we open up the project to native English-speaking countries across the world. And Phase 4 will take us into countries where we have established some degree of international network. And finally, Phase 5 will be our first no-holds-barred global launch. Each phase then serves as an ever-increasing opportunity to take what we know and then apply it to an expanding global audience. And this allows us to take controlled risks while testing assumptions and setting ourselves up to learn from each phase without going so big all at once that we end up driving off at the edge of the world. So there you go. That's our phased approach in a nutshell. I hope you found the info to be of value or of interest. For Phase 10, I will talk about some of the exceptional educational partnerships we've established over the years and how beneficial they are to the students, the professors, and Global Z. So come and join us for an extended inside look. Until then, wishing you peace through music, I'm Bill Lord.